for the final time, it's tea time with Matt, Jimmy, and Nolan. Woo, we're back.
Haven't harmonized in a while.
We are back. We are back. We are back. Oh my God, I'm letting my Rocking the Herd side show a little. I'm Nolan Duncan, and we've got the gang back together again, y'all. Y'all want to introduce ourselves to those who haven't heard us in a while?
I'm Matt, and I'm a guitar major at Marshall. And it's been a while since we've done this, so I'm really excited.
I just realized I accidentally had your mic muted.
Was a bit echoey. It's Jimmy. We're back.
We're back.
I'm not a professor anymore.
Hey.
It's great though.
So what have you all been up to? We've kind of been off the grid for a while. I know me and Matt did an episode last semester, but what's everyone been up to?
Yeah, no kidding. Spring is here. Matt, you want to start?
Sure. I don't know. I mean, I've just been doing my classes, practicing a lot, and it's been a very busy semester for me, but it's really been good too. I feel like I've learned a lot this semester, and I'm just trying to take everything in, trying to get more knowledge this semester. So in that aspect, it's been really good. It's just been a little busy, but now that finals are kind of coming to an end, it's a little bit more freeing. I feel like I have a lot more time on my hands, so that's always good.
The payoff.
Yeah.
The big payoff from the semester.
Yeah, exactly.
No kidding. And I know we were just talking about it off air, but you just had your junior recital.
Yeah.
What'd you play on it?
I did Chirino by Villalobos, A Closed World of Fine Feelings and Grand Design by Grand Cone, and then Leo Brouwer's First Sonata, which it's all, they're really nice pieces. I know it doesn't sound like a lot for a junior recital, but the sonata is like 16 minutes long, so it takes up the majority of it for sure.
No kidding. Yeah. And what was it, about 35 minutes or so?
Somewhere around there, yeah, nice. I think.
Nice, yeah. That Grand Design piece, Alva's played that, right? As far as I don't know, he just heard it at a guitar festival or something, loved it, and I don't know.
That's what made me want to learn it too. He played it. I was like, oh my gosh.
I know. I need to get the music eventually, just to mess around with it. Yeah. Just find some of those chords. It's beautiful.
How about you, Jimmy? What have you been up to?
Oh my gosh, it's a long story.
We've got the time,
right? Last semester, I wasn't working here. I came back to adjunct this year just for a class, but that was my final take as a professor. It just wasn't clicking, too many other things going on. It was a tough year, honestly, going into the summer, scrambling a little bit, trying to find a new step. It's a great thing about life, there's always nothing ever stays the same. No matter how short or long that time period is, it's always good to cherish stuff and having a little faith. I just sort of did my thing. I worked how I could, DoorDash and this and that, and ended up fixing a friend's car. The house I bought has just a really big garage. They left a car lift in there, and I just had some tools for motorcycle work, and I don't know. We got in there, we changed his suspension, and I was like, oh, I like this. This is freeing. It's easy for me. I like puzzles. I think something about being a musician too. There's a lot to take into other fields as far as attention to detail, understanding different layers of things. So really, I've been diving into that, and then the universe threw me a nugget, and I've been working for this man named Mark Hall. He does estate sales, but he also owns a really large property and has horses and sheep and different things. And he's been a great friend recently. He's helped me out just with some money and, just jobs here and there with the sales. And, for the first time in maybe over 10 years, I really feel like I'm sort of free from something. It's strange. especially going through the collegiate world, you do your undergraduate, your graduate, you're trying to find something after that. And for me, this has just been I don't know, time seems longer. It's really strange, but and I lost my best friend, my dog Molly, man. That's been really tough. It's been 3 months yesterday, so
I'm sorry to hear, man.
Whirlwind. But you always got to come out on top. Yeah. You always got to have faith in what you're doing. Sometimes things don't work out like you think. And it is a beautiful part of life to just let go of the stress, let go of the control factor, and just wait for something else. Yeah. Be open, and it's always there. So, you're on your last year.
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
How's it wrapping up?
Like Matt, this is my last semester here at Marshall, and also like Matt, it's been busy. This last year has been busy. As listeners know, me and Matt, we only had time to get one episode out last semester. It's been I'm not a music guy like you all, so I don't know the full pain of putting together a recital, but I've been doing a lot of reporting. I've been doing a lot of, like I said, reporting, learning how to make TV news packages. Luckily, we are not required to do hard news, so I've been able to keep it a little more lighthearted with more feature-y stories on hobbies.
I feel like we need that more.
Yeah,
in the news cycle.
I was talking to Professor Yoe, and I was like, I feel bad for not wanting to do hard news, but I just I can't bring myself to be that guy who's one of my classmates, Abby Aves. She did a whole piece about student gambling, and I think it's amazing. Yoe even featured her on West Virginia Public Broadcasting for it, and I think it's amazing. And I have a lot of respect for her and stories like that. We need stories like that.
Yeah.
And I'm happy she took it, because I don't think I would have been able to put in. I don't think I would have had the what's the word? I don't think I would have had the dedication to putting. I'm very much if I'm not into the story, I struggle to write it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm happy someone else took that topic, and also that actually an interaction she had with the counseling center is actually leading at the time of this recording to policy changes made at the university and how university officials interact with student journalists, which is great. But other than that, I've been doing some radio work. I was leading 2 radio shows, actually. Recorded my final show yesterday for one of my 2 programs, the Variety Hour with DJ Driving Duncan on WMUL-FM.
Okay. I was going to ask, you want to drop a link? So
yeah.
What is it again?
I have 2 radio shows. One was original, my own idea, the Variety Hour with DJ Driving Duncan. That's on WMUL's SoundCloud.
Okay.
And
I'm going to have to check that out today.
I've done a little bit of it all. I put the variety in Variety Hour because, my first show is about Eurobeat. A few weeks ago, I did a show about disco and funk. I did a show about reggae. I did a show about hair metal. I also did a show talking about my favorite media franchises. I've done a video game episode. I did a whole episode for college radio. Not college radio day, for World Radio Day and Valentine's Day. I double dipped for both for an Alan Wake themed show. And then my second ever episode was about football and the anime Horse Girl series Uma Musume, because those actually had a weird bridge gap.
Interesting.
I'm not going to waste too much time here talking about that, because that's a whole rabbit hole. They can listen to it there. I also helped bring back a show called Rockin' the Herd with a guy named Alligator Jackson. I genuinely miss doing those. I will say, even though that guy's crazy, getting to record with him on Sundays was genuinely my favorite part of the week. Nice. In a way, the high energy was really relaxing to be around. But
oh yeah.
Other than that, I had to do a podcast for Quick's advanced podcasting class, so I kept up the tea time spirit and did a whole show about video game and talking about video games and different flavors of tea. So I kept the spirit going strong, gang.
Hey, speaking of, what do you got over there?
Yeah, so Jimmy was talking about it before we started recording that, it's been a year since we had the full team together.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm pretty sure we recorded our last episode with you during either Dead Week or Final. I'm pretty sure Finals week. And we had Dr. David Castleberry on to celebrate him retiring, which he didn't retire. He's just he still does lessons, but that's kind of retirement for him.
It's hard to get away from after 40 years or I can't remember how long he's been here.
But the reason I bring it up is because I sang at his church for 4 years, and to celebrate my my final church service, they gifted me a bag of Harney and Sons because he actually remembered our podcast. So we've got Harney and Sons hot cinnamon spice. The ingredients are black tea, orange peel, N&A flavors, I don't know what that means, ground cinnamon, and ground cloves. And when he handed this to me, he explained that it was in sachets. And
I don't know if he's going to like this one, Matt.
I don't know.
Didn't sound sweet enough.
Yeah. No, smell that. That's a really strong cinnamon smell.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. I remember
double take on that.
During
oh my gosh.
Yeah, that reminds me of like a cinnamon hard candy.
Yeah.
Or what is that? Rock candy is what? No,
cinnamon hard candy.
Oh, okay.
Do you all remember?
Yeah.
Do you all remember when I was like surviving on those during the Paris trip we took? Because I got sick.
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't know it was like a cinnamon.
Castleberry
whatever.
looked at me one day. I think during our second or third performance, he saw I was like keeled over, dying.
You were actually. I can't remember.
And he reaches in his pocket and he just goes, "Here, this will help clear up the sinus." And I was like, "Thanks, Doc."
What performance was that? I mean, it was
either
last.
the second or third one.
Okay.
I think it was the second one we did, the one in that one Catholic church. Oh, it was the third one. He started giving me the cinnamon candy for because you want the cinnamon?
Yeah.
Matt,
that would have maybe been Rouen. I can't remember.
The third performance was Rouen. He gave me that hard candy because the second one was, oh my God, I still remember this one because of how embarrassed I felt because our second performance was at that Catholic mass.
Yeah, where we were in the choir seating.
And because we were in
People
the
were falling asleep.
No, okay. I'm happy to know I wasn't the only one falling asleep.
I know.
But the worst part is I'm the only one who made it apparent I was falling asleep because I was crossing my leg and my leg was sliding off. And luckily, for the most part, when it would start to fall, that would jolt me awake and I would be able to stop it.
Yeah.
Except for one time when... and do know, this floor is carpet.
Yeah.
For some odd reason, of all the flooring, which was mainly rock and stone in that Catholic cathedral, beautiful cathedral, though, I will say, the little choir lofts in the back were hardwood, and I had dress shoes on, so that.
Oh yeah, and granted, this is designed for the choir to go throughout the church back in what 1500 or something. Yeah. It's just like
you could like hear it through the church. It was like,
oh yeah.
I just remember Micah sitting to my right, and I'm pretty sure Sean was on the other side facing me, and I'm pretty sure I remember him just glaring. And I love Sean. I feel bad for all the stuff I put him through. Which he's doing great. He's going to, I think, Arizona.
Yeah. That's what I saw on Facebook. Yeah. Actually been able to see him a couple times just to catch in, see what he's doing, and gosh, he's just kicking butt, you know.
I'm happy to see like everyone. I know social media gets a bad rap and deservedly so, but the one thing I do appreciate about it is that I'm still able, like, there's a lot of people that I'm not able to stay connected with simply because, hey, my classes don't line up, or hey, they don't go here. And so it is nice getting to still get to see people going strong and celebrate them living life. So
no, I agree with that.
It's one of the few good things.
I was like, I should post something because people reached out and they're like, oh, I'm back at Marshall, see you on campus, you know, this kind of thing. And I'm just like, oh man,
oopsie daisy.
Yeah, well, it's like you said, you know, people do it. That's what some use it for, you know, in a good way. So got to do that. I'm gonna get the water.
Yeah.
Let's imbibe.
We're imbibing. So.
Oh, it's gotta heat up again.
Oh dang.
Check the temps.
So.
Let's give it a second.
I will say, it's kind of a good thing that I started drinking more teas. I should have asked you to bring this, but it's okay. I'll still enjoy this because I actually had a cinnamon tea a while back. I think last semester during a DPS meeting. We
nice.
had it in the little conference room here at the J School, and quick let everyone make a cup of tea. And at the bare minimum, I'm happy to try something soon. I love cinnamon drinks because it does kind of help. I'm not feeling sick today, which is good. But I know some people have, and just in case I am feeling a little congested, I'm a little happy to. But
Thank you.
I was actually trying a lot of. I've tried a lot of mint teas recently. And
I'm surprised to hear that.
Yeah. That podcast I did, that comfy game show I did, my first episode I tried a vanilla mint tea, and that was okay.
Good combo.
Then the second one, a friend of mine brought like a what's it called? What's the brand called? It's like traditional medicinals. Throat coat. It was like licorice. Yeah. That one was weird. And I think just because of like the moment, I wasn't vibing. Like it wasn't horrible, but I just wasn't like vibing with the taste all the way. And
it's got a weird like, what, licoricey?
Yeah. Like
sweet something.
I liked the sweetness, but it was the aftertaste. It was like the feeling, it was the after feeling in the mouth that was weird. Yeah. And then actually, and this is why I'm like, I should have asked him to bring some, but a buddy of mine for the third episode, we had green tea because that episode I was like, I don't really have a good way to talk about this one video game and tea naturally. So I was like, I'll throw in like because it's a war video game, sci-fi war video game. I was like, I got a buddy who's a big Civil War historian. And so we talked about the history of green tea, and he brought another mint tea, and that one was really good. Throw in like a few packs of Splenda, and it's really good.
Nice.
But
was it just a regular mint? Like
yeah.
Spearmint.
I think it was I forget which brand, but it was just like typical mint green tea.
Yeah.
And we just used whatever green tea because we were mainly talking about how in the Civil War for the South, because it was the South and people were rightfully so stopping them from trading with the rest of the world. They had to come up with other things, so they came up with gunpowder green tea, where they would like basically create little they would store green tea in little like bullet shapes, which is why it was called gunpowder green tea. So
no, that is neat. I feel like I've gotten that from a company, and they come in these like little balls. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
I think that's what it is.
It's been a long time though since I had that.
Yeah, no. I will say the one thing I've been really big on is taking a lot of time to relax more. Yeah, I realized this semester that like I've just kind of lived my life at like 100%. So yeah. I've been building I built a lot of model kits this semester, I will say. I made a little challenge for myself because last semester during finals week, before we went on winter break, I had a little paint by numbers that I actually painted up at the radio station, and I realized, you know what, I don't think I got to do it every week. And even then, for the most part, it was always just a model kit, if it was. But I tried to do like a little craft once a week. Like, I know this was horrible and probably part of the reason why I was always like stressing to get assignments done. But I made a rule for myself. I was like, my Fridays, if I have to do work, I will. But on Fridays, that is I do a little craft and I just relax.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I feel like I need to take that more into account myself. It's just finding a way to relax. Maybe watch TV or read a book or just, whatever. I feel like it's beneficial for anybody that's stressed with schoolwork.
Oh yeah, any work. I mean, it's a killer world out there in a way. I mean, we're all trying to strive and thrive, and it takes a lot. It really does. But yeah, why isn't that a priority? Yeah. I don't get it. It's not for me either. I'm having to do the same thing this weekend. I'm having some friends over for a fire tomorrow night just because I was like, I need to stop working all the time.
I feel like nowadays a big part of it is like what you see on social media. People like keep grinding until the wheels fall off, and then, well, when you do that, sometimes it doesn't feel too nice.
No. The work does suffer, the accuracy, the commitment, the enjoyment, that's the best driver I've found is, if I'm not enjoying it, take a break or this or that, but I usually don't. But to the point of relaxation.
I hate how so many people are like, you have a hobby, you need to make money off of that.
Yeah.
I hate it when people do that. I tragically got into Pokemon cards last spring.
You can make good money on Pokemon
You can,
cards.
but do you think I'm like I was actually talking to a therapist a while back about this, about how like sometimes I wonder like, am I really into my hobbies because I like them, or am I just doing this because like I'm bored and I need? And I was talking to him about how I got into another trading card game about Gundams because I like Gundams. I'm not learning the card game yet, but I'm going to one day. But right now I was just collecting the cards because I like the art.
Yeah.
And I realized when I pulled a card and I was excited about it, I'd be like, oh my God. But the second I started being all like, oh, how much did I make off this card? Suddenly I'm like not as interested. Mm-hmm. And I've started making a rule, like, unless I have a duplicate that I'm like, oh, I can sell this to fund more of the hobby, I'm trying my hardest not to, because I've noticed, like, once I started looking at this as I can make money, or, oh, how expensive is my collection, suddenly I'm like, this isn't fun anymore.
Yeah. Literally like switching logical mind or, enjoyment mind, whatever that would be, to logical mind, or, like, it's two different mental states.
When I open my binders, I don't want to look at it and be like, oh, dollar signs. I want to look at it and be like, ooh, pretty card.
Yeah. That does create the value after all.
I feel like card trading, like, especially people that do it like to the extreme, I feel like it could kind of tie in with gambling in a way. Mm-hmm. And it's like if people, even if people aren't making money off of it, they might go and buy like a ton of packs just for the thrill of it.
Yeah. What am I going to get, in this booster pack? Or
like, I'm pretty big on like, it doesn't matter if I pull a red card or not. I'm excited for what I pull. And that's why I'm like, I don't get into sports cards because I'm not a sports guy. Yeah. That's why I try to keep it to like the stuff I'm into, because at least then, hey, I get pretty artwork of the things I like. But like genuinely, like I was actually watching a video today. It was a Facebook reel, of course, of this guy. His girlfriend was all like, my boyfriend only spends money on this one hobby, and every other time he wants to buy, he looks at stuff from like the other things. He's like, suddenly that's what's too expensive. And the first comment was like, well, the difference is that like him buying a Formula One shirt, that's not an investment. Pokemon cards are. And like the first reply to that was, no, it is gambling. They are like, I'm sorry to say, for all you trading card hustler bros, you are not investing, you are gambling. And I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know.
No, Magic the Gathering can be just as bad.
But like
also beautiful artwork.
At least with like games like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering, what I've learned is like the prices on those cards are determined by playability, not, oh, is this character popular?
Yeah.
Or, like there is a good balance of like, hey, they're making sure that it isn't the aftermarket isn't in control of the brand.
No, for sure.
But no. Hobbies have been keeping me afloat. Actually, I think I mentioned it earlier. Most of my news reports this semester have been about hobbies. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm talking too much.
No, you're not. I agree with you on hobbies. Not having to. I don't know. It's interesting. Doing what you love is one thing, but like forcing it to make you a living is sometimes beside the point, in my opinion. I don't know. Some people would say otherwise, so I feel like I don't. What do you think about that, Matt? As far as because I have an opinion of wanting to come out as far as studying music goes.
Because like that does kind of border, like at least for you two, that kind of borders on like music is a hobby for you all, that you all are. So how do you balance that?
Yeah.
It's hard to balance it, especially when you're in school and everything. But I try to find a lot of time to play music or make music that's related to music that got me into, music.
Yeah.
Like. Sometimes I might just play like a Beach Boys song, or a Michael Jackson song, or whatever that may be. Just music that really made me want to be a musician in the first place,
Right on.
rather than just playing music for the sake of education. Like not just classical music. It could be anything. So yeah, I guess that's how
I'm glad to hear it. Just because I think I came from a similar background with you with guitar, where it's like, whatever, I guess you can call them popular songs versus classical music. But it's just interesting. Is all to try and quantify, like you were saying. How do you balance it between the two?
Because like, I know we were just sitting here being like, oh, you shouldn't try to force you. But like, I do feel like there is a balance of like, you can make your hobby into a career.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's like, it's got to be something natural like music and performing or teaching or whatever, compared to something where it's like, oh, I'm doing this and hustle culture. I feel like I think specifically if you try to monetize your hobby and make a hustle culture career out of it,
totally.
I think that's when it's not good.
Yeah.
Because like I've interviewed a few. It wasn't published because it wasn't through the Kelly, but I did a magazine course and I talked to Professor Malamare and Professor Dobbs, and I was talking to them about like why specifically my article was about like why do professors continue to perform? Why not just give all the performance time to students? And it was really cool hearing them talk about how, of course, obviously, number one is they want to be able to provide students an example of like, here's what recital looks like. But also for a lot of it, Dobbs was especially talking about how he's like, I love looking at all these classical pieces. I love even sometimes getting to re-perform classical pieces in maybe new settings. I get to maybe change the way I perform a part, or even he'll just have, different people performing with him so it still sounds different.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we draw the line of like, this is still a hobby for him, I think.
Yeah.
He's still, just able
still
to.
a passion.
Yeah. He's not hustling. He's not like, oh, I've got to schedule 5 different performances and we're going to make all this bank and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So
it's like tapping into the inner child, It's like, oh, can I have fun with this in a different way? Is what it sounds like.
It is kind of cool when that happens. But like, is there a sort of separation in journalism?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. I do think, like I said earlier, I think there's that point where you're like, oh, how invested am I in a story? And, I do think there's that separation of, am I doing this story just because I need to get because like, if you're a reporter, at least here at Marshall, I wasn't having to do a daily news story, but at least at the one newspaper I interned at, and what I've heard of other news stations, they're requiring 1 to 2 stories a day. And I think at that point, that becomes a case of like, your enjoyment of a story, at least what I've experienced, is how much do you like the topic? Are you just doing the story because, oh, you need to meet your deadline? Or are you doing the story because, oh, hey, you genuinely love it? I'm not working as a reporter after college. I'm actually working as a director at WOWK soon. I'm hoping to become a reporter eventually because that's really what I want to do. But I remember I was interviewing at a few other places, and one thing they always emphasized is, we're going to require you to do so many stories a day, but you'll have time to work on like bigger, more evergreen pieces, and that's especially evergreen stories are not timely. They don't have you don't have to like. The beauty of an evergreen story is you don't have to have it by this time, and it can air whenever, and that's sort of like, I think those are the fun stories that journalists get to do. Whether it be longer investigative pieces that you're enthralled by the fact of, oh, I'm uncovering this like government cover up, or even if it's just like something longer on something simpler. Some people will, there's some journalists who love learning about West Virginia history. One of my local journalist idols, Terry Burham, he does road tripping. He does a segment called Road Tripping. And he'll travel all across West Virginia looking at these different like either tourist destinations or just locales and report about like, what's so cool about this place.
I need to
I love little things. He has a little he plays an instrument, and he even sings his own little jingle. It's "Let's go road tripping, breathe the mountain air," and I love that segment.
Oh, I think I've heard that before,
Yeah.
actually.
Interesting.
He actually, I wish I had gotten a job at WCHS, because it would have been cool to meet him and be like, oh, you actually gave a tour to my Cub Scout pack, my Weeblos pack when I was
Nice.
a kid of WCHS.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird looking back. I never realized how like kind of predestined I was to go into journalism until I was actually looking back, and I was like, wait a minute. So much of my like early childhood heavily involved journalism in
Just
some way.
being exposed to it.
Yeah.
Or interesting. Did you ever try to like as a kid or something just for fun, like I don't know, report?
No. I've been talking about it on a few other places. I in Cub Scouts, I got to tour a radio station in St. Albans, and for many years of my life, I was like, oh, I want to be a radio DJ, and everyone was like, that's cool. Maybe pick something else because they don't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then of course that Terry Burham gave us that tour. Here I am now. I'm a radio DJ. I'm a journalist. I'm just kind of like, y'all ever had a little moment like that where you're like, wait a minute, this has all kind of been like full circle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of any moment specifically, but there's been plenty of times I feel like where moments happen and you kind of feel like, oh, this is, it's kind of come full circle. Like everything's paid off. You know, you can sort of feel like your dream is coming true in a way, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like even when we went to France, I was kind of feeling that because I always want to perform internationally. I mean, granted, I wanted that to be in guitar, but like even just singing in a different country, you know, in a different place with a different audience, it's amazing what that feels like.
No, I miss that. I will miss that. 100%.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny.
Yeah.
10 months I've worked on cars. I've done 4 head gasket changes. I've gone through an entire car. It's insane. I don't do body work. I don't do alignments, you know, stuff that requires special equipment I don't feel like investing in. But I look back and I'm like, oh man, I always used to fix my bike. And I remember that one time I was like I think it was, I don't know, maybe 20 or something. And I fixed a golf cart, just looked at it and was like, oh, okay, these batteries go in parallel. And it's just fun to see things happen. You know, it's interesting too with this grind culture. I don't want to get back onto it, but it's funny when you kind of take your life and you decide, oh, I'm going to completely do this. This is it, nothing else. And nothing else will matter. And I don't know. It's just interesting when, because I've been wrapped up in that big time before, you know, even before teaching, which I never wanted to teach. It was just an opportunity that came up. You know, I always was forcing this idea that I was going to make some music that was going to get me something, you know, get me somewhere. And I think the more that I held on to that and pushed it and tried to grind it, you know, it just made it a worse and worse experience. And since I've backed off of that, it's just opened right back up. You know, it's just incredible. I don't know. Where stress can kind of get in the way of anything. So what do you think about the tea?
I'm loving this. I'm like genuinely. It's something that, like, I know cinnamon is like really spicy, but something about that cinnamon is just adding this really, which I also still have the sachet in still. So maybe that's
me too.
why.
Me too.
And I think that's actually doing something. Like, it's just got this natural sweetness to it.
I do wonder if that's the clove or what was in it again?
It was.
There it is.
Let me see. It was.
The bags.
Ground cloves. Ground cloves.
Yeah, you can just throw it in here if you want.
Oh, in there. Oh.
Yeah, and the bag's fine. So yeah, I'm gonna give it I might have to say a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Just because for what it says, it's hot cinnamon spice.
Yeah.
I think it's every bit of that.
Guys, I think I understand tea now.
Okay, so
This little 7-episode little experiment of ours, Nolan Duncan finally likes the tea a lot.
I'm trying to think of what we started with. and how far you've come.
If it helps, I was always giving it fairly high scores, and like I think I was always giving it like a 6 to 8 range because I'm like, I don't hate it. I'm just like, it wasn't me. But now I'm like, this is really good.
This is good.
I've got 50 sachets. I'm once I run out, I'm definitely gonna order another bag. But my family's always been like a sweet tea family, so I might actually try to get my family to try this one out.
Yeah, it's sweet enough. Even with some sugar on top.
Maybe tea is just an acquired taste.
I think it is.
Yeah, totally.
You know, we've had a few people we've talked to a few people in the past who have been like, oh, I'm more of a coffee person, or you know, and you know, look at me, I hate coffee. I think I've only had coffee, like, I got into frappes, which that's basically just a
like
milkshake, you know. And Starbucks randomly had like a creme brulee flavor that I was like, oh, I liked this. And then I tried like lattes at other places, and I was like, okay, no, it was just something about that one specific one that I was like, okay, yeah, but... Yeah, no, this is a great flavor.
Starbucks is hard to beat on the sweet drinks, at least.
So do you think it's more of like a sweet thing? Because I also have a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
It's something I try to break all the time, but I don't know.
Like,
something about sweet things.
When I tried a mint green tea and I put those like 2-3 packs of Splenda in it, I was like, oh my God, I love this. It was perfect.
Yeah.
So. It's been
we're coming up to summer. You guys got any big plans? You're just gonna relax? You know.
Depending, you first, Matt.
I mean, right now I'm basically just practicing Bach's First Lute Suite in E minor.
That was great.
Yeah,
that prelude's sick.
It is. It's really hard to.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to take
Once you get to the presto, especially, the voicings are gonna. Yeah.
I'm just trying to take it really slow right now because I don't know. I don't want it to be like, I don't want to rush it and then just it not be very well played. So, but I mean, other than that, I don't know. I'm just working, chilling out. That's about it.
Nice. Good way to be.
Yeah, I'm guaranteed a week of doing nothing, but the station I'm going to be working at, WWK, they haven't gotten me the paperwork yet, so that also might keep me from starting immediately. But we're hoping, me and the news director there are hoping I start May 18th.
Oh, wow.
I'll be working behind the scenes. I'll be the punch guy who's like putting up the graphics, and you know, he explained it as sort of the Swiss Army knife of. And I admit, when I applied, I was kind of like, I don't really want to do this. I want to be a reporter, but and I'm hoping, I'm still hoping to become a reporter. That's really what I want to do with my life. I really love telling stories about people. I very much am a writer and a storyteller. I'm kind of hoping that maybe if I find some free time, I get back into writing fiction and maybe try to make some novels. I came up with a few ideas throughout college that I really want to follow through more with. But as of now, I'm just kind of, my summer plans are I'm just going to start working and start making that bag. Hopefully make it out on my own soon. So.
Yeah, the 18th isn't going to be too long. Yeah. So do you have a place you're going to stay up in Charleston?
For now, I'm going to live with my parents in St. Albans.
No,
hopefully,
that's not far.
Yeah.
All right, that's good.
Hopefully I can get an apartment on my own because I admit, I think I realized this semester I really need to define myself as a person. You know, I think I'm personally well defined, but I will say there's a lot of things about me that I wouldn't say are holding me back, but I need to improve upon. You know, I think I just need to be stronger in who I am as an individual and not like I need to stop defining myself as like the groups I'm a part of and finally being like, I'm Nolan Duncan. This is who I am as an individual.
That's awesome, actually.
Yeah.
I wish more people would do that.
Yeah, it's very inspirational too. I can connect with that too. I feel like sometimes I just need to do the same thing, because I feel like I just find myself firstly as a musician rather than as like a person. So, and it's not great to think of yourself and based on just your career. You know, you gotta have a little bit more depth. Like everybody, I feel like everybody does. So yeah, it's a really good idea actually.
One thing that I from a foreign media series, a piece of advice I've been really honing in on these past few weeks is the phrase, "There was never a me before me, and there will never be another me after me." And that's sort of been speaking to me a lot recently.
Yeah. That's huge. I feel like, as humans, we're so apt to go with the flow or try and appease or worry about what our image is this way and that way. And a lot of times we get bound up in these social norms of, I want to, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but come off as esteemed in one way or another.
Yeah.
Based on what you do, and you just forget all the great little things,
I've learned that
make us us. So.
Growing up, my mom was always like, "Oh, Nolan, you're so good about not letting what people think about you impact you." And then I noticed, especially in college, I really started letting what people think about me really control me. Not control me, but influence me. Because, growing up, I was always the weird kid because, I didn't care. And then now I'm like, I'm always worried, like, what am I saying is like, are people going to take that as rude because I'm not good at picking up social norms? Like, people will pick on me and I'll just give them that blank stare and they'll have to be like, "Oh no, we're just picking." I've never been good at picking up stuff on that. And I've kind of came to the realization, in a way, being told, "Oh, it's great that you don't care what people think about you," is, and I know we're saying like, "Oh, don't," but I think you do need to. I think there's a lot of insight you can gain from, like, I'm not going to get too personal about my personal life here, but what I've learned this semester is that you do need to allow some people to influence what they think about you, influence you, but you don't need the world to do that. I think it's one thing that, I was in an interaction with people that eventually didn't turn out to be great. But when I was interacting with those people, it was amazing because I started seeing like all these traits that I was like, I don't like this about me. I'm going to change this because I really like being around these people. And I don't want these bad traits that I don't like to keep holding me back. And that genuinely got me to start changing myself and improving myself. And while maybe I'm not close or it's a bridge that's burned, I am happy I had that interaction because genuinely I've realized, hey, there are things about me that I don't like. And I've kind of just been ignoring them. I admit, I've lived in a single dorm for the past 3 years. And I admit there were multiple times where instead of improving myself, I would just go to my dorm. I'd get on I turned the second bed into a couch and I'd sit down like a fat chud and just ignore all my problems. And now I'm like, I was taking a lot of PEL classes this semester. Last semester, I had a lot of time to work out. I'm proud of where I'm at.
Heck yeah.
I was about to say, it looks like you've lost quite a bit of weight.
Yeah. It was really funny. I was putting together a portfolio for a class, and we had to show off some assignments that we've done in the past. And one of the assignments was a branding guide from a digital imaging class I took. And I was working on it during a tutoring session, and my tutor looked at me and was like, "Look at that photo of you, Nolan." And I looked at it, and she was like, "Go back to the first page," because the first page of my portfolio had a recent headshot of me. And everyone has been saying this to me. And I've realized also, I think I'm experiencing some form of body dysmorphia because it helps when people look at me and tell me they see that I've lost a lot of weight, because I admit there are times where I will look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, that's also problem number 2 Nolan needs to solve on his own after college is I think I'm going through body dysmorphia, because when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, I'm still that fat loser from a few years ago. And I think just, once again, getting out on my own and finding myself as a person, I think that'll help me with that.
Oh, there's so much more, than how you look. And you do look great.
Yeah, thanks. So Which you two are looking great. Like, I love, I have a lot of respect for you for not being like crazy about social media, but also I love it when I learn new lore about you. Like, I didn't know about the car thing until today. Like, dude.
Yeah, if y'all ever need a repair.
Got all the lore. And you also are looking great, man.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's pretty nice to hear. I feel like sometimes I kind of fall in the same boat too, where I'm just like, oh, I don't like how I look or anything. Which, I mean, I've been wanting to work out too. I think summer will be a good opportunity for that.
Oh, yeah. Me and you both, man. Well, us three.
Yeah.
All of us.
We're
Time to get the beach bods.
Yeah.
No, I really do look forward to it for mental health too.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you how much better, more clear I think, and less like frazzled I get when, I can get some working out in maybe twice a day. It's a good time coming up for it.
I will say there is like kind of a freeing aspect to graduating because my goal now is just don't lose a job or, aim for a better job, but there's no like immediate goal now to life. It's not like, oh, just keep working hard, getting good grades. Now I think that's kind of the fun. I know like my parents were always like, oh, college is the time to find it. Maybe it was back then when college wasn't the norm, but I think with how normalized secondary, both college and vocational school has become, I think holding yourself to that, oh, my goal is to graduate, or I'm really excited because I think I need to stop being like, oh, focus on my grades.
Yeah.
Because like I admit, I've kind of defined myself by, oh, I'm a smart person. I get good grades. And I'm excited to just kind of wander.
Heck yeah.
Kind of just ride the wind,
Yeah.
Let the shield down a little bit.
I don't know if you've ever seen Night at the Museum too.
Oh, I love that movie. I love all the Night at the Museum movies.
There's a scene where the guy is like, Robin Williams is playing Teddy Roosevelt, of course, and then he's like, do you know what's going to happen next? And the guy's like, no. And then he's like, how exciting.
Exactly.
Because you just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's the best part. I'm telling you, the controlled factor I was talking about just really tries to take that away. I think that's just one thing I've been on recently, like you, Nolan, where I'll find a goal or an objective, and perfectionism kills the fun. And I've been that way for way too long. It takes me way too long to do stuff when I'm like that. It's like going for a run in the park. You're not looking around at the trees or anything. You're looking down at the gravel you're running on, And so I'm excited for both of you. I mean, honestly,
Thanks, man.
run looking up at the trees,
For sure. Hey, we're excited for you too, though.
Yeah.
It sounds
thanks,
like you got
brother.
quite a few things that could go your way, especially like the working on the cars and stuff. That sounds really cool.
I feel like Nolan in a way. This environment was unhealthy for me. That's why I think it's more meant to be that I'm not teaching.
Yeah.
Because I'm very bad with this idea of deadlines. Something about them puts me in a box, and then I start to stress about it, and then I end up most of the time, it's just not a good thing. But I appreciate it. Just in the sense of I'm seeing a much larger picture coming together, and man, I can't wait to write music. I actually have time to write music instead of grade it. Or record something or that, the recording stuff.
DJ Jimmy coming to a SoundCloud rapping scene.
Who
Hear
knows?
you.
Oh, no rap. Yeah, no, I'm excited for all of us.
Yeah.
Seriously, I can't believe this is potentially the last tea time.
I feel like we could always continue this if we just got a bunch of cheap little mics and just did this freelance on our own.
Oh, I think we should.
We should.
At least once in a while.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You don't think you could hop back in here, schmooze somebody to?
Oh, we probably
let
could.
use the
We probably
studio?
could. We probably could let someone let us borrow the studio.
That'd be cool.
Or even, like I said, we could always just get some cheap mics and set up.
Well,
on our
I've got
computers.
mics. Yeah.
Nolan's got some pull. I believe he could get us in for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was the music school this year?
Yeah.
I mean, was there anything new, I guess?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you heard, but someone kind of came to Music 100. It was an older gentleman, and he kind of seemed a bit off his rocker. And he kind of got into some altercations with people, and I'm not gonna go into a lot of details about it, but we had to like start locking the door a little bit at the auditorium because of that.
Really?
Yeah. So it was.
So no one had seen this guy. He wasn't like a regular concert goer or anything.
I don't know. I don't think he was. He just came into class, and it was during when we were like interviewing for the saxophone faculty, and he asked this one guy just a bunch of questions, like 4 or 5 questions in a row, and after that,
That's actually hilarious.
yeah, I know. And when he was told to please be quiet, he kind of made a big scene about it, and he was just being a jerk, so they threw him out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who threw him out? I was just wondering who stepped up.
Dr. Saunders.
Nice.
Yeah.
Go Martin.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was crazy because I was like right in front of him when this was happening, and then I could hear like their conversation escalating, and then heard him get thrown out. I was just like,
Dang.
"That's
That is kind of a first.
yeah." It was a really fun Music 100 to say the least.
Finally.
Yeah, this is what we were praying for.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's cool though. It's good to hear.
What class did
Fun
you
things are.
teach last?
Oh, I did instrumental arranging. Again.
Oh, okay.
About half of the class at least. I looked back at my messages. I think I had to not come to class, or I didn't wake up or something like 6 times. I'm like, oh, I can't do this anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I was also working doing the cars and then working at the farm, and it's just like, okay, I need to move on. It's pretty obvious, which I'm really sad about too. It's, again, those chapters in life, you got to take advantage of every part. You run into different chapters, and again, run looking up at the trees, not at the ground, because you'll remember a lot more.
It's a good saying, actually.
But
I was getting my grad photos taken by a buddy of mine who graduated last winter. He lives in the area. He does grad photos and just photography for people in general. And building off what you said about looking at the trees, he asked me. He was like, "Oh, is there any while we were walking around campus, he was like, "Oh, is there anything you didn't get to do?" And he was like, he was like, "You weren't much of a partier, Nolan. You didn't." And I I think I had attended like maybe like not parties, but like a few like friend events that were basically parties. And I looked at him and I was like, no. I genuinely thought I was like, did I really feel like I don't feel like I missed out on anything. I think like, yeah, would it have been cool to at least say like, okay, I understand what a frat party looks like. Yeah, maybe. But even then, I'm like, I probably would have went, hated it,
yeah,
and then went and got food with the buddy.
Yeah.
Like that's probably what would have happened. Like I think, I don't know about you all, but like I'm happy to say that like I'm kind of living life with no regrets right now. Like
yeah.
I think that's what you're building off what you're saying.
Well,
like I think that's the goal. Like,
and I love like where you're coming out of school, and you did. That's what they say about college. I think as well as you already said one, like you're gonna find your passion, this and that. But understanding who you are, I think is a way better part. And, learning about yourself and becoming better. I don't think you need a frat party to to show you that.
No.
Former WMUL station manager, Michaela Wheeler, she was visiting during finals week this week, and she was hanging out in the staff room with us, and she was talking to one of our sports director, Ben Anderson, and she was like, and he was talking about like, being busy with something. And she was like, you're going to regret not hanging out with your friends all the time, which I'm pretty sure I remember Ben talking about hanging out with people a lot. And when she said that, I know it wasn't directed at me, but it did get me thinking like, because there were a few times this year where like people would talk about doing stuff and I'd feel excluded. And now I'm looking, I'm happy that, once again, it's one of those like, if I never got invited, too bad, too bad for them. Mm-hmm. They missed out on being with someone cool. But there were times this semester where I was like, oh, I feel so excluded. But then the second I was like around the people I'm like close with, I'm like, I'm not actually that lonely. So I admit, like, one thing about college that I didn't like is because you're so busy with work. And you both probably understood this. Sometimes it feels very lonely.
Oh, yeah.
When like you're,
oh my gosh.
And you don't realize how many friends or like how many like people you have in your corner until like you finally have that breathing room.
Yeah. No, totally.
Yeah, I feel the same way too. I feel like I just didn't really put enough effort into like meeting people or making enough friends, which I feel like a lot of that has to do with just my social awkwardness and also just the fact that I'm busy. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like I should have just made more time for that.
Yeah. You know, this leads me to a thing I've been going through. So, you know, humans before technology, for farming or whatever, we all lived in a town and we'd have community. You know, there was a town hall, there was this or that. And I just think it's so interesting that we're like this is a topic even, that like, oh, I'm hanging out with people or not. You know, it's I think it's so strange as humans that it's an option now versus a necessity to work with people. And not just work with people, enjoy each other too. You know, but I think that is great advice to take it in while it's there. You know, and that you don't need every social circle. Yeah, you really don't. But man, it is nice to stop and hang out. That's why, again, that's why I was like, oh, I've got to do this fire on Friday. You know, this. Some of my girlfriends wanted to hang out, and it was just like, hey, let's have that fire we were talking about. And the first thought immediately was like, oh, no, I got this car in the garage. I shouldn't do it. You know, I got to work. But at the same time, you know, I'm working on it last night, and I'm beating my head against this thing because a bolt broke, you know, and you have to get it out. It's just impossible. So I had to buy a whole new piece, and I was huffing and puffing, and I'm just like, I need a break. I need to see some people. I need to laugh a little bit, you know, and just shoot the stuff. It's crazy valuable. For all you listeners, drink some tea with your friends. Don't forget about it. Because you never know. You know, I hate to be that person too, because I don't really live like this, but you never know when it's going to be the last time you're going to see them or whatever. You know?
Like, I think I've talked about it on this show before. Like, you know, it started off as like, oh, we'd always play Minecraft. But even now, it's like if we just don't feel like hopping on, we still, like me and my buddies, once a week, we always have a phone call. That's always awesome. Do like a big Discord call. We all hang out, whether we're playing the same game or not. You know, my friend group is two close friends from college and a buddy of mine from high school. I introduced them to my buddy from high school. We're very close friends. And I you know, like you were saying, you know, you need that time. You know, most of my friends, you know, I'm going to be in Charleston soon. My buddy from high school, he's here in Huntington because him and his mom moved down here because she was changing jobs. I've got one friend who lives in Texas most of the year. And one friend, you know, after next semester, she doesn't know if she's going off to grad school somewhere or where she's going. Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of it. You know, like I hope I get more chances like you have where you get to hang out in person. But, you know, I really wanted to set up like a little dinner hangout. But I'm like with my buddies. But it's like even if even if it's just another phone call, you know, those genuinely get me through the week. Heck,
for sure.
I really got into singing karaoke. I do not like the taste of alcohol, but I started going to Bar None here in Huntington for karaoke with buddies. And in fact,
what day is that?
Mondays.
Oh my gosh. You might see me there.
A friend of mine, she's going back to Texas Tuesday. So we're thinking about seeing if a friend that we don't normally take to karaoke wants to go Monday. And I've even I've enjoyed getting to spend time and relax with people. There was one professor. I've taken a professor with me to karaoke just because like I have genuinely enjoyed getting to spend time with people. Yeah. That's been my favorite part of this year.
Yeah.
That's nice.
People are super inspiring, you know. Like you are Nolan Duncan. Your characteristics and qualities and different things, you know, they'll shade on to me, and I'll, you know, mannerisms or whatever, cool things about you.
Like,
you know,
I've always loved your outlook on life, Jimmy. And I've always loved your work ethic, Matt. Like, every time I see you performing, I'm like, I love seeing you perform, man.
Oh, thank you.
I love the dedication to the guitar.
Thank you.
Yeah, you were, who was it? Victoria Bosley posted something when you were on the radio show. Shout out to the Wallace Horn Radio Show, Friendly Neighbor Show.
Yeah, it's a very nice show.
Yeah, no, but I watched that post and I thought the same thing, Nolan. It's like, man, it's good to see your passion on the guitar. It's
Thank you.
I love it when you post little videos of you in the practice rooms, because I admit, like, sometimes I tune in just to like have like a nice little like you play good music. You play a little bit of relaxing music, and I love tuning in and putting it as background noise.
I appreciate it. I've been thinking of doing a different type of like music videos where I just basically record the process of practicing, because I feel like I don't feel like it's fair that I only put pieces that I've been practicing for a long amount of time. I think it's important for people to realize that when you first practice a piece, it's not going to sound very good. It takes a lot of work, and I don't think people see that process enough. And you could say the same about like pretty much any other hobby or field of work that takes a long time to accomplish things.
I agree with you, though, especially just being a good guitarist as well. The amount of like, it's almost like sculpting or something. I could imagine. I'm trying to think of a good way to put it, but not a lot of humans have experience with learning classical music. Reading, defining the, from the historical context, the performance practice of that period, and the adaptation to the guitar from the lute. For instance, if we're talking about like Bach's Lute Suite 1. And anyway, it's just wild. I think you should do it. I think it'd be cool for people to get a little insight, because
make like a meditation album, maybe.
Oh, that would be cool too. Yeah. Have you been writing at all? I feel like you composed before.
I took 2 or 3 semesters of composition lessons, and but this past semester I didn't do it because I was getting ready for the junior recital, and I had a research project too that took up a lot of time. So I was like, okay, I'll get back to it next semester. So I've only really composed one piece. It was a violin and cello duo.
Nice.
I'm still technically working on it, but it's really cool to like get back into it, even when you're kind of feeling like, oh man, it's been so long. Like I don't have any ideas right now. But that's part of where the fun comes from, I think, is just getting back into it and struggling a little bit, finding your footing, and
Well, you are kind of pushing through your last, bit on the last year on the guitar stuff. You got to focus. I guess it's kind of hard to write when you're learning so much.
That's true.
But remember when we were down in the courtyard in Paris?
I lost my phone.
Well, that one was great. Yeah, when we were outside of Notre Dame, I think.
I remember you disappeared, Jimmy, and I remember a bunch of people were like, "Where'd Jimmy go?" And then you got a phone call from your mom because someone had found your phone.
Oh yeah.
And so Jimmy just runs off, not knowing that someone had already found it. And I just remember specifically all the other students were like, "Where'd Jimmy go?" And I think like Dr. Castleberry and Barbara didn't notice you were gone yet. I think Barbara might have, but I don't think the rest of the chaperones noticed that you had disappeared.
Yeah.
God, that was crazy.
Yeah. Well, we had some good heart-to-hearts on that trip too.
We did.
In the late night hours. And,
I will say,
it seems like all of that has been, I don't know how to explain. It seems like we're all doing better,
Yeah.
I did really like getting to have those evenings to hang out with everyone, because I admit,
Oh, me too.
I always felt like I was always like not really like I wasn't really like close with anyone in chamber choir, and I wouldn't say I was like friends with anyone, but I was happy to get those moments to really like interact and really be closer with those. With them.
Yeah, because but did you take any of the music classes? Was it just choir?
I was just in chamber choir.
Yeah.
I took like a music and society class, but even then I took the honors version. I bonded with the people in that class because we just did not like the professor. It was really funny because actually one of my best friends, she was in both my my first year seminar team and also my honors music class, and we didn't realize until a few weeks in, because like that first year seminar was online and none of us would turn on our cameras. And one day we're just like, wait a minute, we recognize each other's name during first year seminar. And then like from then on out, we just like, that's just how we became friends.
Yeah. No, that is one great part of college too.
Yeah.
Although I still have best friends from like kindergarten, so those are hard to replace. But I do miss some of the guys from undergrad that were here. Keep in touch with them for sure. I'm sure you've made some good connections for the Dead Podcaster Society.
Oh Lord, I got to be careful with what I say, or else I might start tearing up. I'm gonna miss all this. I'm gonna miss you two. I'm gonna miss.
Same, brother.
I'm gonna miss all you lovely listeners out there, and I'm gonna miss the podcast club. Before we started recording, we needed to get the SD card because I put it. Dr. Quick had the SD card with him for a long time, so we've been having to like find other ways to record the audio for other people's shows, and he finally returned it. But I admit, I carry my keychain around with me everywhere, and for the past 2 years. I'll have my dorm keys, but then I'll have the podcast keys, the keys to the studio and the office. And last week, I had waited to give it to the new vice president because I was like, I might need to get into the studio. And today's recording was a bit of a last minute thing. So I had already given her the keys at this point. And I admit it was weird throughout this week looking at my keychain and being like, hold up. There's only 2 keys here. Like, it's been weird. I'm gonna miss it a lot. I'm genuinely. I didn't think I would get into podcasting. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, but this has been my favorite. This has been my favorite thing to do here at Marshall.
Heck yeah.
It was really fun.
Yeah. And you know what? To get a little overly energetic, one thing we can say. We beat the stereotype of white guy podcasters. Guys, we are not right-wing loons.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was going to ask, what is the...
Yeah, I was like, I'm a bit confused, but no, that makes perfect sense now.
We're not like the generic guys who like have horrible takes.
No manosphere.
We have beat the stereotypes. 7 episodes in, we beat the stereotypes.
Yes. Nolan's less podcast here, so he can say that.
Yeah. Maybe. Me and Professor Yowie, we've been talking about him wanting to make a podcast about his life, and so I might still be using the studio in the future. So
yeah, let's tag along after. Let's do some more tea time.
Yeah.
So, but at least for now, this is it, isn't it?
Yep. Again, 10 out of 10 on the Hardy and Sons. They never
finished
let
it
down,
all the way.
honestly.
Honestly.
Yeah, this one was really good. I have to give that a 10 out of 10 too.
I would pull the bag a little earlier though. It got a little. I don't know. I haven't eaten breakfast or anything, and the tannins. It's the tannins. They get a little heavy.
So
but it is a black tea.
Any final thoughts? Any final advice or any favorite memories or anything y'all want to share?
Well, if you say favorite memories, I really liked the Castleberry episode. That was really fun. That was a fun episode to do. Same thing with Dr. Quick too. That was I liked his insight on everything, especially the tea.
Yeah.
So
I think the Castleberry one was my favorite as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know from I guess since it's one of my last times being in the building, everything I've experienced at Marshall, I just will say, I wish I stopped to enjoy it more. Really, anyone who listens, I hope whatever you're doing, just enjoy it every day instead of worry. It's just life is too short. I'm not getting old by any means, but it's interesting to go through a few stages in life and understand what you missed from the previous ones, for sure. I'd love to go back to undergrad, I tell you, just to enjoy some things, versus not. So don't stress, people. Enjoy the sun. That's about it. You two are awesome. I'm going to miss this. For the time being. Hopefully we'll do it again.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the cool thing about a chapter. Sometimes chapters carry over.
Yeah.
Sometimes storylines carry over into the next
true.
chapter.
Yeah.
I guess all I can really say is keep, even though we're not gonna, we might continue this, we might not. And even though we might be gone for a while, that doesn't mean relaxation and tea time stops, for all you wonderful listeners out there, and for Matt and Jimmy and myself to keep in mind, whether you're with your buddies or your family or even by yourself, you yourself are also your greatest best friend, Take the time to relax. Take the time to enjoy your own company. Take the time to enjoy the company of others, and just keep relaxing. Keep keeping on. Life is tough, and we all need some time to breathe.
No, I love that, man. Yeah. You do have to be your own best friend.
Yeah.
I know, you brought up body dysmorphia and stuff. We're hard on ourselves, I think.
We are.
People have a tendency to really be unforgiving. I know I am, at least, of myself. And that's, like you said, it's one of those things I've been able to recognize through good friends, good times. Oh, I don't like that about myself, Or, oh, man, I really thought about that differently than it is, as far as my impression on people or this or that. And it's just, anyway, life's full of those.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, any other final thoughts, or?
I don't know.
You said it best. Keep drinking tea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, once again, for all you listeners out there, we want to say thank you for listening to us. At least, who knows? We might continue this off the DPS. Who knows? There might be a Tea Time with Matt, Jimmy, and Nolan official account one day. But at least for now, do you all mind if I say some final words?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm feeling myself well out.
Real quick, couldn't we do this over Discord? Can't you record in Discord? Chat?
Yeah.
All right.
That'd be cool.
I was just wondering.
So, we will try to continue this show. Maybe
should.
not like on the DPS channel. We might genuinely might try to, but at least for DPS stuff, while we're still here, I just wanted to say, this is Nolan Duncan speaking, and oh God, I'm welling up here. When I started here at the podcast club, me and Alex Grimes, we had a silly little idea of a radio show style podcast called Lizards Inc. And I plan on continuing. That's one of the things I want to continue as maybe like a novel, rewrite some things, finish it out. Because we just got busy. All of our voice actors got busy. So, but I'm okay with that one ending on a cliffhanger. Tea Time has genuinely been my favorite thing ever. I'm happy with the work I've gotten to do for Quick's advanced podcasting class. Hopefully, either before this release, I'm gonna probably release this as soon as we get done recording today, and edit it a little. But hopefully, the interview we did with Senator Joe Manchin releases soon. Nice. Hopefully, Quick figures out how to get that edited.
Didn't know y'all talked to him.
Yeah, it was a fun one. But genuinely, as sort of my final hurrah here with the Dead Podcaster Society, it has been a great honor being the podcast club president for the last 2 years. I will greatly miss everyone. I cannot wait to see what the DPS does. I know Quick has been really wanting to expand beyond Marshall. He wants this to be a whole national program. We've been in the talks with other universities to start their own chapters. And once again, some of my best friends are in this club and on these podcasts I've made, and I'm going to miss every one of them. And I don't really know what to say outside of just looping the same. I'm going to miss everyone. It has been an honor getting to sit down with my two best friends and drink tea together. It's been an honor getting to talk to all these great people I've met with. And I've said it earlier this episode. I wasn't a big podcast guy, and I've loved what I've made. And I hope what this podcast and every other show on the DPS YouTube channel and other social media outlets show is that you should not be afraid to create what you want. Whether that be an Excel spreadsheet for work to present during the board meeting, or if it's music composition or a car or whatever, keep creating, keep feeling impassioned about life, and just keep living life and keep drinking tea, folks. For the final time, can we do at least here on the DPS YouTube channel? Let's get one last little jingle.
See if we can get the harmony right. for once.
I'm Nolan. That's Jimmy. That's
I'm gonna
Matt.
go for the bass, boys.
You've been listening to Tea Time with Matt, Jimmy, and Nolan.
Oh, I totally. No.
Do we want to try again, or?
I think we'll leave it as a one. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Man.
Talk to you. See y'all around.